Finding you to cool off at one of its cooling centers. But a report from the city controller says some of the neighborhoods that need those centers the very most, with the hottest temperatures, the fewest green spaces, and the most households without AC, actually have fewer cooling centers. Joining us live on 1010 Wins, Nicole Vaughn Robinson, Deputy Director for Older Adult Services at Queens Community House. Nicole, we thank you so much for being here. What are you hearing from your seniors? Are they telling you that the cooling centers are tough to find?
Thank you. Thanks for having me on. I think we're hearing a mix of things. It's difficult to stay a little bit concerned coming out of this pandemic. Finding a cooling center is very important. We want to keep our seniors cool and hydrated. And now we try to, keep them as informed as possible. As soon as our cooling center is activated, we're calling people just to sort of bridge the gap. So that in case they may not be able to find it on their own, we are giving the information on where they can go.
I see. So they can go to you to get help to find a cooling center. Have you gotten any complaints from seniors saying, I tried to go over there, or just I tried to find one and I couldn't, there aren't enough, they're too crowded, anything like that?
I'm not hearing that, thank goodness, I'm not hearing that. But I do think because some of these buildings are so much older, there are like ADA issues, and just, especially in the borough I work in Queens, access can be very challenging. So we just try to assist as much as we can. We offer transportation if that's needed. It's all about meeting the seniors where they are.
And is that to say that your area would have fewer green spaces than some other places and therefore have hotter temperatures?
Yes, very much so. Traditional senior centers might look one way to some of the modern ones where could be like in a regular office building. We have a center that's very much like that. So yes, lots of less green space, more city surroundings. So yeah.
All right. If anybody's listening in Queens, and a senior in particular, they should head on over to you folks at the Queens Community House and try to get some help cooling off. It's going to be a bad weekend.
Absolutely. We are open. We have 3 sites open, so we can be found on the city's cooling center site.
Very good. Nicole Vaughn Robinson, we thank you.
Thank you.
All right, stay cool now. Wins News Time 1:18. A pizza shop owner from Brooklyn caught a foul ball at a Yankee game. Hit him in the head. The ball was hit by Yankee slugger Aaron Judge, and now the pizza shop owner, who wound up in the hospital with a concussion, wants Judge to autograph the ball.
He may not be as famous as Aaron Judge, but in this neighborhood he kind of is. Paul Giannone owns Paulie G's Pizzeria here in Greenpoint. When they said all rise to catch a foul ball at the Yankee game Tuesday night, Paul did, and got bonked in the head for his trouble.
I saw that he hit a pop-up. It looked like it might have been coming to our area, so I stood up to try to look for the ball. It hit me on the head.
And he had to be treated for a concussion at the hospital. Paulie's not thinking of suing or anything. He just wants to meet Aaron Judge and get the foul ball signed.
Nobody owes me anything. And there's a sign on the seat in front of me that says, you're doing this at your own risk. I mean, I just thought it would be nice if I could get him to sign the ball.
One shot, 10-10 wins here in Brooklyn.
Well, you've heard of rats in the subways and sewers, but under the hood of your car, they're getting into your engine, eating the wires, because a lot of that wiring, the insulation, is made from soy, and seems rats like that as a snack. We spoke live on Newsline with Dr. Michael H. Parsons, a researcher at Fordham University. He says, yes, it's not your imagination, that rat population is growing, and that could be because of all of the pets that were adopted during COVID.
The pandemic of pets is a real thing, and the numbers of pets exploded, and people with new pets don't always know how to take care of pet food or pet waste and those things. So that was really tapped into by rats.
Dr. Parsons says your best bet to keep rats out of your car, out of your engine, avoid parking over sewers and drainage catch basins.
All news, all the time. This is 1010 Wins. You give us 22 minutes, we'll give you the world.
afternoon, we have partly sunny skies, 92 degrees at 1:20. I'm Bridget Quinn. Here's what's happening. More heat and humidity maybe through the middle of next week. Live AccuWeather coming up. The Port Authority bus terminal, that was the destination point this morning for a bus of migrants from Texas. New York's Attorney General says she's holding bad landlords accountable. 2 people are dead, 2 others critically hurt after a lightning strike right across the street from the White House. And it seems the spike in shark sightings has led to a spike in sharks fishing on Long Island. We'll speak live from a fisherman right from his boat coming up at the half hour. AccuWeather says, out on the water, nice place to be today with that heat advisory through 8 o'clock tonight. Live AccuWeather coming up at 1:21. Traffic and transit with Greg Rice.
And we'll go right to what you need to know about the bridges and tunnels. We'll start with the inbound George and a 30-minute backup on either inbound level. Getting out of town, southbound Egan's flows from Fordham Road. Northbound West Side is sluggish from the 130s on up, and those are the best options you've got. The Lincoln Tunnel into the city, it behaves outbound already 20 to 30 minutes. 30 plus at the outbound Holland. Inbound, no more than 10 minutes in New Jersey. Both spurs of the turnpike, they're going to get you. Southbound of Western near 15E, that's a wreck in the left lane. And the southbound Eastern spur before the train station, we're dealing with a crash backing you up from Route 3. Overall, the Western spur looks to be the worst of it, but neither are going to be perfect. Northbound, the Eastern, the must avoid because of a whole lot of trouble getting you past the Vince Lombardi service area. Staten Island Expressway, westbound getting out towards Bradley Avenue with lightning work. You got eastbound construction on Staten Island getting over to Victory Boulevard, knocking out the left lane. The bridges to and from Staten Island behave. The Belt to Brooklyn, once you're there, the eastbound crawl all the way to Cropsey Avenue with right lane work. I'm Greg Rice on Extra Report at 1:31 on 1010 Winds.
And so more heat and humidity, and AccuWeather meteorologist Carrie Schwindenhammer. We're talking until the middle of next week before this breaks?
Yeah, I think unfortunately that is going to be the case. Now, the heat is going to be, a borderline, obviously, this time of year. Temperatures in the upper 80s to near 90. But when you factor in the humidity, that's where the heat actually becomes a lot more noticeable. And we're looking at AccuWeather real field temperatures that could be up around 100 this afternoon, later on this afternoon. The high itself about 90 degrees. Thunderstorms could try to develop later on and produce some downpours and gusty winds. It stays sticky tonight. Now, tomorrow, not quite as hot, but still very humid. The humidity is with us into the middle part of next week, and we'll be right around the upper 80s to 90 as well, Bridget.
All right, Carrie, we thank you. The governor of Texas says as a sanctuary city, New York is the ideal place for migrants, and so he sent a bus full of them to the Port Authority this morning. Our Juliet Papa is there with the latest details. Juliet.
Yes, we do know the bus arrived at 6:30 this morning at gate 14. We don't know how many people were on it, and we don't know how many more people are on their way. And it's not clear where the migrants sent here by Texas Governor Abbott are going. There are reports that migrants have been given addresses to business offices, let's say for the city human services office or a not-for-profit, but they're not shelters. Those are business offices. The shelter intake location for the city is in the Bronx. Mayoral spokesperson Fabian Levy says using people as political pawns is disgusting, and that's a quote. New York Attorney General Tish James addressed the issue, saying she's concerned right now for the individuals on the bus, and she wants to make sure they're taken care of, and if they're seeking asylum, that process should begin. The Legal Aid Society has condemned the action, calling it shameless exploitation. Is it?
All right, Juliet, sounds like a lot more to come on that still developing story. We appreciate the update there from the Port Authority. Winds News Time 1:24. New York's Attorney General says she is holding bad landlords accountable, announcing one big landlord has been stopped from harassing tenants and from illegally eliminating rent-stabilized apartments.
Today, I am proud to announce a $1.75 million settlement with the Inc. Property Group.
As part of that settlement, James says Inc. will pay up to $1.75 million to preserve affordable housing and more than $400,000 in restitution to tenants. The Brooklyn McDonald's worker who was shot in the neck over an argument about cold French fries has now died. The latest details on that story for Newsline from our Glenn Schuck.
This is a story that has gotten national attention. Matthew Webb's death, now a homicide. The 23-year-old being screamed at by a woman inside the McDonald's in Bed-Stuy Monday. She was complaining her fries were too cold. She then FaceTimed her son to come and continue the argument. That man, 20-year-old Michael Morgan, then shot Webb in the neck. He was on life support for 2 days before he passed away at Brookdale. Now, Morgan faces these upgraded charges, and while in jail this week, he was also booked on another killing for gunning down 28-year-old Kevin Holleran on Herkimer Street in Brooklyn nearly 2 years ago. One shot, 10-10 wins for Matthew Webb's home in Jamaica, Queens.
Wins News Time 126, and as we speak, President Biden is speaking about the latest economic numbers. And we get the information about them from Bloomberg Money Watch and Ann Case. Despite caution signs that the economy may be losing steam, job growth in July came in far above expectations. Non-farm payrolls jumped by 528,000 last month, more than double what economists told by Bloomberg had estimated. And the unemployment rate fell to 3.5%. The number may give the Federal Reserve more reason to continue hiking interest rates in an effort to get inflation under control. Amazon is buying the maker of the Roomba vacuum. The e-commerce giant will pay $1.65 billion for iRobot as it continues its push into connected home devices and robotics. Amazon customers can already use Alexa to control Roombas, and some of the software already runs on AWS servers. iRobot saw sales soar during the pandemic, but demand has waned recently. Bloomberg Money Watch at 26 and 56 past every hour. I'm Ann Cates for 1010 Wins.
The 1010 Wins BMW Shore Traffic Report is the sure way to get to and from the shore this summer. Every Thursday, Friday, and Sunday, courtesy of your Tri-State BMW centers. BMW, the ultimate driving machine.
Well, speaking of the shore and the waters thereof, we'll be speaking live coming up at the bottom of the hour with a shark fisher.
Attention, this is a special alert for all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an overpriced auto warranty or no warranty coverage at all. Due to the increase of new and used car prices, repair costs, and the price of gas, people are keeping their cars longer than ever, which is why CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on covered auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can save thousands for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. You could save thousands on future auto repairs. Our specialists are standing by for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-524-1735. Vehicle protection plan pricing is at an all-time low. Plus, drivers who purchase this coverage today will receive rental car options, free roadside assistance, and free towing. Call 800-524-1735 now for your free quick quote. That's 800-524-1735. What do you have to lose? Call 800-524-1735. Again, 800-524-1735.
I'll second guess initial threats because they can be interrupted by diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or oily stools. It turns out I have EPI, or exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, which means I'm missing the enzymes needed to digest food. My doctor prescribed Creon, pancrelipase, an oral prescription medication that replaces pancreatic digestive enzymes. Creon treats EPI due to cystic fibrosis, chronic pancreatitis, pancreatectomy, or other conditions.
Creon may increase your chance of fibrosing colonopathy, a rare bowel disorder. Tell your doctor if you have a history of intestinal blockage or scarring or thickening of your bowel wall. If you're allergic to pork, or if you have gout, kidney problems, or worsening of painful swollen joints. Call your doctor if you have any unusual or severe gastrointestinal symptoms or allergic reactions. Take Creon as directed by your doctor and always with food. Do not chew capsules, as this may cause mouth irritation. Other side effects may include blood sugar changes, gas, dizziness, sore throat, and cough. These are not all the side effects of Creon.
Creon is the #1 prescribed EPI treatment. Ask your doctor about Creon for EPI and visit CreonInfo.com or call 800-633-9110 to learn more. That's CREONinfo.com.
Hi, this is Brian Thompson for AccuWeather. Not running your business on NetSuite is like trying to sink a putt with a cap pulled over your eyes. NetSuite by Oracle is the #1 cloud financial system, giving you visibility and control of your financials, inventory, budgeting, and more.